Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to episode 3 of the Back to Back Boys podcast. If you're a returning listener, welcome back. If you're a first time listener, welcome to the show. I'm Garrett Greenfield. This is my co host, Zach Hines. Say hello.
What's going on?
I didn't say what's going on. I said say hello, but not a great
Well,
start. Not a
I
great start.
I don't listen to you. This is a
Well,
podcast. We banter. We have fun.
obviously. Oh,
This isn't a serious podcast for those who are first time listeners.
you're
There's
the
two
worst.
guys who like to have fun.
You're the word. Okay, so yeah, if you're new here, this is accurate of what you're going to get around here.
Yeah.
We kind of just argue a lot. We got a lot to get to today. Going to talk about the Murray State game a little bit. We'll probably keep that pretty brief, just because Murray State. All due respect, we are going to preview the game this upcoming Saturday for the Jackrabbits, which I can't quite remember who they have this week. Uh,
Gosh, was it?
is it a big deal or something? Or
I think it's going to be on ESPNU, right?
that's right. It's the Dakota Marker game. The Bison are coming in.
Oh
That'll be
yeah.
fun. We got a little Twitter beef between Bobby Houck and the Montana Grizzlies and Sacramento State, which Sacramento State has been in the news more in the last 3 months than probably ever before that I have seen, because of their.
And not in a good way.
I was going to say their president. Just listen, say what you want about the guy. He knows how to get clicks. We're going to recap Mark and the Hawkeyes and their big win over Penn State. We had boots on the ground in Iowa City.
Oh yeah.
Zach will recap his trip down there. We'll talk the Washington State Cougars, the Northwestern Wildcats, New Mexico, and Jason Eck. And then we're going to do a new segment idea at the very end, recapping the rest of college football. So, and then we'll have Gear Grinder and Slap Hands to wrap up the show. So let's get right into it. Starting with the Murray State game. I will go first on this one. I watched it on my TV, and the word that comes to mind is gross. Gross because nothing to do with our beloved Jackrabbits or any of the play itself, honestly. Just the camera angle and the production value that was on the ESPN Plus copy of this game was horrendous. I think the camera was set up in Illinois because it was so far away from the field. Um, it was, yeah, I honestly, it was like almost, it just, you couldn't really watch. Like they looked like ants. You literally were so far
Yeah.
away. If people watch on TV, I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. Did you watch on TV, didn't you?
I did. I was able, so like you had mentioned, I was down at in Iowa City for the Iowa Penn State game. So I was able to watch the first half, and the second half lost all signal at tailgate. But no, I will always say if you still have a track around your field and you are a college program, you're not a serious college program. So Murray State there. And then also you had tweeted it out from our back to back boys account on X, and their logo for the Missouri Valley Conference on each side of the field is comically large.
It was bigger than the midfield logo, and
Yeah.
it was so cheaply done. It was like they stuck a band-aid over their old conference logo because you could still see like the writing like going through the
Uh,
middle, and it was literally bigger if not the same size and slightly bigger than like the big M on the midfield. And it was I just looked at it, I'm like, this looks ridiculous. It reminded me of UND's field where it's like you literally just took a stamp with random logos and you stamped the whole field all over the place. And this one just happened to be like 10 times larger than it should have been. But
Hey, you've got nothing on Hugo's up in Grand Forks, North Dakota. I'll never forget that just because it was on the field.
I mean, how could you forget it? It took up half the field. But listen, at least Murray State, at least they tried. They're new to the conference. They're 0-7. Like, at least they tried. But you got to make that midfield logo smaller. I
Yeah.
mean, that's about all I can say.
Maybe get a
Um,
couple stands on the opposite side of the field. Like
yeah.
maybe not just one
Also,
grandstand.
also bad. Shout out to that horse though. It
That
did
was
it.
cool.
It did an entire lap, which I think was a bit much. Like, it was running, and I was looking. I'm like, oh, that's cool. Like, the cool tradition. Like, good idea. I think he just kept going, and they just like kept going around the entirety of the track. And like, okay, this is dragging on a little long now. Like, kind of lost its luster a little bit. Like now you kind of just look silly. So
Yeah,
um,
maybe just do like a down and back kind of a thing, or like
again,
a.
they're trying. They're trying.
I
They're
did
own
hear
seven. Be
on the
nice.
broadcast, the insightful broadcast, they said that the horse is topped out at 7 laps around the track, which I don't know how they've determined that number because they've never scored 49 points in a game there, but someone theoretically threw out that number.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's 7 laps more than me, so who am I to judge? Um, but so to the real points of this game, Chase Mason exited after scoring the first touchdown. We don't know what the injury is. I can almost guarantee you we're not going to know. Um, Matt Zimmer asked Dan Jackson today at his press conference who's going to be the starter, and Coach Jackson, our guy, hit him with the "nice try, buddy," which is just
Yeah,
the
that
perfect
was
answer.
insane.
Great answer to give. Love that. So anyway, we're not going to know. It's Bison week. They're not going to let anything slip. That place is going to Brookings is going to be Fort Knox this weekend. Nobody is going to get any information out of there. They're going to hold it close to the vest, like close practice all week long. Yeah, we're not going to know anything about who the quarterback is going to be. We're just hoping he's okay. Hope it's nothing serious. Obviously we'd like him back this week, but we do have to shout out Luke Marble for coming into the Murray State game, taking over and handling business, and again coming out with the win.
Not a starter, but technically, I mean, I'd give it to him as his first win. So
Yeah,
shout out to Luke Marble getting his
yeah.
first win for the Jackrabbits.
Shout out Luke Marble. Shout out the defense continuing to just put on a freaking clinic every week on how to just crush people and not let them score points.
Defensive player of the week in the conference, Jalen Lee.
Shout out
Shout
Jalen
out.
Lee. Give it up.
Jay
Give it
Lee,
up.
shout
Jay
out.
Lee. Shout out Jay Lee. O-line played well. Running backs got rolling in the second half. And they avoided a letdown spot. This had all the makings of a letdown spot. 0-6 team at the time before the Dakota Marker game. Obviously, everybody's going to be talking about NDSU. So, like I said, we're going to keep it brief. Good win. Any win's a good win. And now we're on to the real show.
And before we get on to this week, we had a misstep on last week's podcast. This was my fault as a tight end. I missed 2 tight end touchdowns in the previous game. Left hand up, that's on me. That's me being a bad tight end. Shout out to Great Gannon and Andrew Gustad for their touchdowns. Go tight ends.
Wait, at least we love the accountability around here. We're an accountability podcast. Listen, yes. I'll put my left hand up as your accountability buddy. I didn't hold you accountable. So again, hand up. That's on me. Didn't hold you accountable.
We'll be better moving forward.
We'll be better moving forward. Again, this is we're just this is dumb, but we appreciate you guys
this
listening.
Is next level stuff right here.
If you've listened this far, showtime this week for the boys under the lights. Which I'm not even going to sugarcoat it. I am extremely jealous that they get to play NDSU under the lights because that is something I always wanted when we were there. I remember floating to them like, hey, it'd be really cool if we played USD at night when it's a home game. Like throw the lights on, have USD come to town. Let's play them in the dark. Same with NDSU. Like, hey, how rivalry games are already insanely cool. What would make it even cooler? Kicking off at 7:00. I'm very upset that we are out of eligibility because this game would be so much fun to play in. It's going to be sold out crowd, packed, night game, under the lights, 55 degrees, late October. What more do you want? That's
you can't ask for anything more.
No, it's going to be insane.
Dare I say, because of the, obviously there were lights at the old Coughlin Alumni Stadium, but do we think this is potentially the first SDSU NDSU game at SDSU that is a 7:00 kick?
No,
do we think that's the first?
I don't think it is. I feel like I've seen pictures of like teams running towards the rock. I think there used to be night games. I've seen pictures of like people holding the rock like in the dark or with the dark sky. So
we used to be cool.
I don't think it's a first, but I do. It's probably the first time in a while. I don't know. Somebody can fact check that. I know a lot of people were really wanting College Game Day to come. Obviously, we were us included. We want them to be there. I thought that would have been awesome to showcase SDSU like they did in 2019 because everybody just showed up. Like that was insane when SDSU had that.
Yeah,
Like, and I feel like as the university and like as a football program, we've only grown since that moment, and I think we've grown a
for
lot.
sure.
So I would have loved to see the turnout of what that would be have been like. Um, but they switched it up, threw us a curveball, and they're going to an SEC matchup in Nashville this week. So
They are?
um, good
No
for
way.
them. And listen, I won't get on my soapbox about this, but it's like I think the old College Game Day that we all like grew up loving and seeing every Saturday morning might be gone and a thing of the past, just with how all these like TV networks and how all their money is tied into the conferences themselves now. It's straight SEC, it's straight Big Ten, because obviously they're going to try to promote the games that are on their network. So it's all stuff above my pay grade, but I just think the days of getting that exposure to other cool stories that make college football so awesome, I think could be a thing of the past as much as I wish it wasn't the case.
Yeah. And I think there's a certain level of it where, when they do come to SDSU in the Marker game, or they go to either of the Montana schools like they did, was it last year or 2 years ago, and they go to the Brawl of the Wild game, like the people surrounding that game, like it's such a unique event for those schools to get College Game Day. Like College Game Day gets good crowds either way, just because of the popularity of it. But the enthusiasm and the joy that comes, because I mean, we had it 6 years ago, and this is the closest we've been to getting it since. And, we'll have to wait however many more years to get close, like, and it's just one of those things where it's like, if you go to Ohio State or if you go to Alabama, you can pretty much pencil in that you're going to get College Game Day there at least once a year, every other year at the max, which again is fine if that's what they want to be doing. But I would just assume for some of those students, it would lose a little bit of its luster. But I could be wrong.
Yeah, yeah, I'm with you. I just and like I feel somebody made the point. It's like yeah, like but Vanderbilt being good at football is an absolute shock. Which coming from
It's
me, like
fair.
it's a fair point. Like you're not
Yeah.
wrong. And again, like they're two good teams. Like they're both one loss teams. So like
Yeah.
it is a big game. I don't know. I
Might have
just
been the Ole Miss Oklahoma game where both of those schools are featured relatively frequently. I think that would have irritated me more.
fair.
But it
Um,
is still just the big conference that they're at almost every week. So
yeah, kind of a bummer, but thankfully that holds no weight to the game itself. We already covered it's a night game, going to be so cool. Everybody get there, be loud. Um, as far as what to expect from this game, I really wish we had like some hard hitting analysis of what's gonna get the Jackrabbits to W, but it's going to come down to the most bland and boring things that win football games for the past however many years. It is
yeah,
who's going to win the line of scrimmage, who's going to run the ball better, and who who's going to win the time of possession. I think there's a stat. I don't know. It might have been like every year except one over the past however many years. Like I said, not a stats podcast, but I'm pretty sure there was a
kind of a
time.
bots.
There
Kind of, but
was,
not really.
yeah, not so much. There was a time where the winner of the time of possession won the game, like every single time. So, which again, that's just a fancy way of saying they ran the ball, they can control the clock, they can keep their defense off the field because they can have long, sustained drives and come away with touchdowns. I think that's a big thing for this game is when you get in the red zone, you got to score touchdowns. You can't kick field goals.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head there. Where if you want to try and look at this game from a million different ways, and you could say, well, SDSU has done this and this and this, and NDSU has done this and this and this, and they've looked this good and they've looked that good, and this has all done that. Well, some of that may be true for this specific matchup. The easiest way to, say it is exactly what you just said. Don't turn the ball over, win the trenches. Like it's very, when you said the time of possession stat, if you hold on to the ball in this game, you're gonna win. It's just it's what happens. Neither of these two teams are they can throw the ball, but they're not predominantly the air it out, no run, spread offense. Like that's not what these two teams want to do. These two teams are going to line up, run their plays, do what they're going to do, and the team that executes better is going to be the team that wins.
Sure. And I would guess, I guess I could be wrong, but I would guess that we went through it obviously, and maybe some people who haven't gone through it may be wondering kind of what the week is like behind closed doors. Because again, it's Fort Knox up there this week. Like nobody knows what's going on. So I'll let you go first. What was NDSU week like for you?
I mean, I think the thing, and I'm sure you would say something similar, but I think there was maybe a little bit greater level of focus and attention to everything that we were doing, but we tried to really keep it to a normal week, if you will. I feel like you tried to change things and you tried to do too much and you tried to be, you know, perfect in a week. If you weren't doing the things that you did to get you there, something was going to falter that week in practice and it wasn't going to lead to a great outcome.
Yeah, I think kind of going off that, I think when we were really young, like our first 2 years there, I think that was when it was like you knew we were playing in NCAA. Like you would show up at practice and you could tell you're like, oh, like there must be a big game going on this week. As opposed to when we were playing Indiana State, it was probably a little more lighthearted. It wasn't as much attention to detail. It wasn't as process driven as it became those years when we started seeing the field and started just handling them every single time we played them. So like we got to that place eventually where, and like we were never, I think the thing that kind of goes with us having so much success against them is like, honestly, I feel like anytime anybody else in the FCS played them, they were scared. Like they looked at the helmet and they looked at the logo and they're like, oh my God, like, yeah, you don't look at, like, we went in there no matter what. And we were just like, yeah, it's just, let's play. Like, I think we're the only team who had any sort of confidence against them. And I think that was a big part of it too. Like just going in with no fear. Because I think that was part of it. Like I think their logo made a lot of people treat them differently, and that just wasn't the case for us. And obviously led to 5 straight. So
yeah, and that kind of like what you were saying there. There have been many of teams, whether it be in the playoffs, they've had great success there, or even in the regular season. There have been many of teams that have gone into the Fargo Dome and lost the game before they got off the bus. Like
yep.
There's just
it's exactly right. Exactly right. Okay, so predictions. As far my prediction, I'll go first. I think if Chase is back, Jacks win the game.
Like that.
Chase isn't back, Jacks still win the game. It doesn't
Love
matter.
That.
Don't matter who's under center, baby. We got under the lights at Dana J. I'm so fired up for this because I know we've talked about it, everything that went on. The number of new players that are on that Jackrabbit team and have never gotten the chance to hold the marker just because they've been here for, whatever it is, 10 months now, or, because there was a point when we were there, I think we got to the point where not a single member on our team knew what it was like to not have the Dakota Marker in Brookings, like, because it just never left. Soft flex. So those boys under the lights, they're going to run, grab the rock. It's going to be an awesome scene. I'm so fired up for them, and I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, like you had said, am still just so jealous. We kind of mentioned at the top of the show that I was at Kinnick for the night game tonight and or this past weekend, and that like playing underneath the lights is just a different feeling, especially when it's a good game and it's an important game. It feels more important if it can get more important a little bit. But as far as the score prediction goes, I will take the Jackrabbits 23, the Bison 21. For those of you who know, you know.
I see what you did there. Love that. Love that pick. And yeah, like you just throw everything out the window. Records, stats, doesn't matter. Like set the ball down, line it up, play football. That's what it's going to
Who's
be.
got it on
So,
Saturday?
yep, that's what it's going to be. So, moving on to our next part, we have a Twitter fight between the president of Sac State, who's been kind of getting himself into a lot of trouble lately, and Coach Bobby Hauck for the Montana Grizzlies. So, those of you who are not familiar with the situation, the Sac State president was like getting interviewed in the booth during their game, and in a certain he was knew he was joking. He was being a jerk. He's like, oh, the Montana Pandas, hardy har har laugh laugh, and then it was just he called yeah. Anyway,
It
through
was the
through
worst dry humor attempt at making a joke. Like, oh, did I forget? It's like, all right, buddy, that was bad. Like,
lit
real
and
bad.
didn't take long for word to get to Missoula. And Bobby Hauck was asked about it directly. And I think it was awesome. He just gave like an honest answer instead of like the coach answer is like, we don't pay attention to outside noise. We don't hear any of that. They know they heard it. Like everybody knows that they heard it. He called him a clown. Bobby Hauck just right away, hockey fight, threw the gloves off, like fists up. Let's go. Called him a clown. Said he should worry more about like the brawl that happened at their stadium than worrying about the Montana Grizzlies. And he said they are aware and they will take care of it on Friday night, which is when they play. They don't play on Friday, I believe. So
I have got two things surrounding this. One, Sac State has made the push to go to the FBS, and they have done so with very, very little success. They've tried to rebrand whatever, tried to say they're leaving before the SDSU game, and in the off season, they called the FCS the JV. While they're in it, and they're not necessarily at the top of the FCS, and have just been saying other kind of odd things, like you had a little bit alluded to. Um, and then it just it's just kind of mind-boggling to me that this is, you know, the route that they're taking. And also for Bobby Hauck, I love the candidness. Like kind of like, you don't necessarily have to be, rude like when he's giving that answer, but him just saying, "Hey, he blatantly disrespected us. He acted like a clown." That's the truth. Like he said what he was feeling. And even something as trivial as Jackson saying, "Oh, you're not getting that," or whatever he said to the reporter Zimmer this week when he was just asking about Chase Man, just like instead of giving the prim and proper, "Oh, we didn't hear that," or "Oh, we're not gonna disclose that information," just be normal. Say what you would say, you know?
Yeah, no, I love it. I think it's awesome when they're just honest and they don't try to sugarcoat
Yeah.
it or just be like, yeah, like you just said, they hear it. Everybody knows that they hear it. Like
Yeah.
it's the most cliche answer to be we block out the outside noise. Everybody like you
If
hear
you
it.
block out the outside noise, you've heard the noise.
Right.
Like
Right.
there's no way you don't.
Yeah. Anyway, that's enough time on that. I just thought it was funny. Obviously, I'm sure
Montana by a million this
Montana's
week.
gonna ruin them. Iowa, not so much Iowa. Mark, huge win on Saturday. Iowa made it very hard for them to win this game, but luckily for them, they have our good friend Mark Kanowski, who happens to be a pretty dang good quarterback as well. put the whole team on his shoulders and just will them to a victory under the lights at
So,
Kinnick. You were there.
it was.
I was watching this game, and I just could not help but scratch my head at some of the decisions that were made in this game, as far as, I don't know, a 66-yard field goal at the end of the first half from a college kicker that gets blocked and returned to the end zone. What are you doing?
It was insane in the stadium because so when that happened, and again, there were swirling winds in the stadium. They got to that point in the field, and as someone who played a lot of football, I was like, okay, they have 6 seconds left. They can maybe do like a short play, get out of bounds, and then kick it if you get it to like 55. Like that still would have been like with the conditions, probably like close, but it would be like, okay, you could do that. At that point, I was like, all right, just throw the Hail Mary, like get 7 or go to the half. No. They went out, they kicked it. They called timeout first, missed it short, saw how short they missed it, ran back out and said, this is a good idea. Let's do it again. Got it blocked and then returned it for a touchdown. And the entire stadium was just like, that, like, did that just happen? Like, is that? And then it's all of a sudden 14-10 instead of 7-10. And keep in mind the other 7 points that Penn State scored was because Mark is, if you read the stats, he's going to get credited with an interception for hitting his receiver right in the hands and the ball shooting up in the air, getting tipped and getting picked, and Penn State taking it to the 15-yard line and then them scoring.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. Like I said, there's Iowa, with the exception of Mark, take Mark out of this for a second. They just make it so hard on themselves to win games. Insert Mark, luckily for them, the dude just knows how to win football games no matter what's thrown at him. We're always going to have our guy Mark's back. Like, obviously, that's not news, but he is winning these. He is winning this Hawkeye team games without a doubt in my mind, because which of the previous Hawkeye quarterbacks would even come close to just putting this entire team on his shoulders and just willing them to victory week in and week out?
Yeah.
Like, so shout out Mark. He's the man. He's a great player. He's just a winner. And that's just what he keeps doing.
If you haven't seen it, you should. And if you're an SDSU fan, it'll remind you of a few other plays in Mark's SDSU career. But with 5 minutes left, runs 67 yards down the left-hand sideline. Essentially, one play later, Hawkeye score a touchdown, take the lead, and the game was over. And Mark's had a few other good runs. SIU in the playoffs in the spring season, down the left-hand sideline, won us that game.
That's the one I was thinking of. It looked identical to the SIU run.
Yeah. Right through the middle, broke out to the left.
That SIU one, he had a hell of a pull block on that one. I just like to throw that out there. I can't quite remember who that was, but
I don't think I pulled on that play.
Running. Listen, we can. I'm sure we can find the film. It's out there somewhere. But
I don't know. This is a bunch of hearsay.
When Mark runs left, has had some good times at SCSU, and then also on Saturday with the big win to set them up to win the game. So shout out Mark. That's our guy. Got the Gophers this weekend, who just beat Nebraska, which is a separate issue. Nebraska fans have to just be devastated that they literally kicked 2 field goals. That's all the offense they could muster. But we're not gonna.
Well, we can talk about Nebraska a little bit more if we want to talk about Northwestern. Northwestern. They played Purdue this week. Beat Purdue 19-0.
They received one vote in the AP poll, which would have been nice. Sorry, Harvey's wandering around up here. I don't want him to pee on the carpet or anything.
Got a new gear grinder of the week happening
live. Yeah. Northwestern looking good. I think they're going to go in. Listen, the Huskers have probably had a long week of just getting screamed at every single day by everyone associated with the program. So they're going to come out hot and ready to go. I think Northwestern's going to be ready though. I think they're rolling. I think they're going to come in feeling a little spicy. Lujan's going to have a little game plan cooked up. I think they got some confidence going into this game. So I think
They're playing well.
They're playing well.
Like,
I think this could be Northwestern.
yeah, and again, it would just be funny if because the program and Nebraska fans have set their expectations so incredibly high that them losing at this point, they lost to Minnesota last week. And I feel like a lot of them are just kind of saying, it's a bad week, it was fluky, whatever. They go in and they lose to Northwestern. I think it's just going to send some fans in just a tailspin and just going down. And to be clear, I don't hate Nebraska. I just think it's funny the reactions that their fans have when they lose.
I was gonna say we're not an anti-Nebraska podcast by any means. We like funny storylines. It's what makes college football fun. And they chalk them in for one more loss because they do play Mark in the Hawkeyes still. So that would be 3 losses, potentially 4 after our connections in the Windy City and Northwestern beat them this weekend. So it could snowball quick for the poor Huskers. Man, Washington State,
so close,
back-to-back
weeks,
just an absolute gut punch. Another 2-point loss to a ranked team on the road. Listen, we know the staff out there, and we know how they feel about a moral victory. They don't think they're a thing, which I think is good. You can't just,
they lost the game. It's a loss.
Can't have that way of thinking. But to lose these last 2 games by a total of 4 points, compared to where they were at the start of the season, you got to give them a little bit of flowers because they looked a little rough out of the gate starting the season against Idaho. But like I said, I'm sure they're getting better. They're developing. They're getting and like I said, they're gonna answer it, be like, well, we've lost the last 2 games, which yes is true. But in a situation like that, you got to hang your hat on something. And you can be like, hey, boys, we're right there. We're right there. A couple more things we got to execute on a little better. It's going to bounce our way one of these times. So they got Toledo this week. I don't see them losing that game. So they're heading in the right direction.
Well, let's not forget this team at the beginning of the year was the same team that lost 59-10 to North Texas and then lost 59-24 to Washington. So to go 2 teams that aren't ranked, lose that badly, one of those games at home, one of those a rivalry game, and then to come around and play the number 4 team in the country to within a field goal, and then play the number 18 team in the country to 2 points and lose in a gut-wrenching fashion, both having to travel a very long distance, is impressive.
Their travel this year is horrible.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely horrible. They have to go to JMU still, so all the way back to Virginia.
They go Virginia twice, Mississippi once, Texas once, and it's not great. And then they also, let's not forget, they play in the Pac-2, which formerly the Pac-12, now only 2 members in it. And 2 out of the last 4 games of the season, they play Oregon State. So they have a home and away schedule with Oregon State coming down the stretch here.
Listen, first thing first on the to-do list when the season starts, you got to win your conference. And they're well on their way to winning the Pac-12. So
you can say they circled those 2 games.
Yeah. Must wins.
Yes.
SSU pipeline continued. New Mexico won. They beat Nevada by 2. Didn't watch the game. Another win for Coach Eck. Good to see. The main takeaway from this is I'm pretty sure we were the ones who spearheaded the whole Wisconsin hire Jason Eck movement. And it's kind of taking off now on Twitter from some pretty big names. But we were the first ones. We said it first. So we were the ones who started this whole thing. Wisconsin did say they're not going to fire their coach, but I don't see how they can't because
Be
it's
a bad
bad.
move.
It's
It's
bad.
sad there.
It's bad in
Is it
Madison
bad or
right
is it
now.
sad?
I think it's
Has
both.
it gone to sad?
No, I think it's
Because
so
if it's
bad.
sad, it has to be bad first.
It's so bad that it's sad. That's where it is
Yeah,
right
so
now.
it's sad. It's sad.
Yes. Yeah. So yeah, Jason Eck to Wisconsin. There's got to be an opening there. You got to hire Jason Eck. Dude
Or
knows
think about it, if they don't fire their coach this year, he can go there next year for sure.
for sure. It's coming.
Because then
It's
he's going to
coming.
have the Lobos turned around.
It's
And
coming.
also, when this happens, Coach Eck, we would like a free shout out to be the first ones to report it. No big deal. It's fine.
Yeah, shoot us a text like before the news breaks. That'd be
We'll
sweet.
break it ourselves.
Also, shout out to the guy Adam Harms threw us a comment on YouTube. So we were joking about the whole Jason Eck to Wisconsin thing last week without, I guess, directly saying it. We thought we were being funny, trying to be, vague and stupid, and we were like, hey, if only Wisconsin could hire a guy who's a really good coach, knows how to rebuild a program, was an alumni from Wisconsin, and just hypothetically coaches in the Mountain West. Jason Eck. That was our thought in our stupid brains. We're like, wow, we're hilarious.
Which made sense.
It did make sense.
We narrowed it down enough.
Adam Harms. Yeah, we thought all those filters made it crystal clear who we were talking about. Come to find out, shout out Adam Harms. Thank you for the comment. He's like, are you guys talking about Sean Lewis, San Diego State head coach and former Badger tight end from 04 to 07? No, we were not. We were referring to Jason Eck, but that is crazy that there were literally two guys who fit the exact same description. I hand up, didn't know that. Didn't see that one coming. So
it's the next level insights you get here on this podcast.
That is, yeah, that's the hard hitting stuff that we uncover. I think that about covers everything we had. Are you ready to try out our new segment?
I can't wait. Hopefully, you guys, we think this is going to be good. We're going to try it out now for the first time. What we're going to do is we're going to do, the NFL on Monday Night Football, they do the fastest 2 minutes. Here we are going to do our fastest 2 minutes of college football, except we're going to do 1 minute on a preview on a recap of last week and 1 minute on a preview for the next week. And we will hard cap us right at a minute. The other person will time them. They will ramble on for a minute straight. We'll yell stop. We will flip and we will go. Keep the podcast nice and short for you guys.
All right, I'll go first. I'll do the recap from last week.
You want your countdown?
Yeah. Let's get it.
All right. And 3, 2, 1, go.
All right. Louisville beats Miami 24-21. Miami's always due for a letdown loss, no matter how good they are. Nebraska 6, Minnesota 24. I mean, 6 points, Nebraska. Come on, that's terrible. North Carolina loses at California by 3. North Carolina is a sad state of affairs. Bill Belichick needs to hang up and retire. He's ruining his legacy. Alabama beats Tennessee. Kalen DeBoer heard all the noise after the FSU lost week 1. The Tide are rolling. Ohio State beats Wisconsin 34-0. Wisconsin sad. Indiana's for real. Wax Michigan State, Texas A&M. You need to beat Arkansas by more than 3. They don't have a head coach. Georgia beats Ole Miss. Lane Kiffin can't win the big road game again. Texas Tech loses. They were the outright favorite to win the Big 12. Arizona State, big win. Vanderbilt beat LSU. They were favored. Somehow still feels like an upset. Still can't believe Vanderbilt is good. Georgia Tech, probably one of the best teams in the ACC, beats Duke on the road. Notre Dame going to be 10-2. They're going to be in the playoff. They beat USC by 10. Utah BYU. BYU beats Utah 24-21. Great win for BYU. Oklahoma beats South Carolina. South Carolina not very good. I don't think Oklahoma's good either. Texas.
And stop.
Ended on the Texas game. That's
what happened to Texas? We may never know.
We may never know. I can't. I'm not at liberty to say.
Oh boy. Ready for the preview here.
I thought that was good. I thought that was good.
It was good. I hope other people are as impressed by that as I was. Like, this is, for us just rambling on, looking at the scores, this is that was good. We'll see if I can get the preview rolling.
All right, I got your timer whenever you're ready.
UCLA traveling to Indiana. Is Indiana that much better? Is UCLA just second half of the year? Team started 0-4, now 3-0. We'll see what happens. Ole Miss playing Oklahoma State. Should College Game Day have gone there? That's an SEC matchup. Virginia playing North Carolina. North Carolina, Bill Belichick's going to lose to Virginia by more points than Jimmy Rogers did. Northwestern's going to upset Nebraska, and that's just going to be funny. K-State plays Kansas, and for a rivalry game, nobody really cares. Bama plays South Carolina. Bama by 100. Missouri, Vanderbilt, screw you guys for taking College Game Day from us. BYU versus Iowa State. Iowa State, big upset spot. Washington going to beat the crap out of Toledo. Minnesota playing Iowa. Let's go, Mark. Big dub there. Oregon playing Wisconsin. That one's so sad too. Texas A&M playing LSU. Is Texas A&M for real? Is LSU actually bad? We'll find out. Michigan, Michigan State. Hopefully there's a fight there. Seems like they're out.
Time. It's a good ending. Nice, clean ending. Oh, you're cutting out. Can't hear you. Still can't hear you there, Zach.
Oh, shit.
Okay, there we are. Oh, of course. we heard the cuss word, so you're back.
Are we good?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Oh, shoot.
Okay.
Oh, my internet's cutting out.
Yeah, you're frozen too. Okay, now you're back. Apologies for the difficulties. Hang with us. that was funny. You literally picked up right when you. Oh man, that's tough. Tough seed. Okay, well that was our new segment. Again, well, listen, we're gonna take the last play mentality. It's a little choppy. When it comes to podcasting, we will take the last play mentality. Go 1-0 each week. Stack days on days. What are some other good cliches that we can say?
We're here for improvement.
We're here for improvement.
We want each day to be better than the last.
It's a process.
Chop wood, carry water.
Yeah, carry the boats.
Yeah, burn the boats.
Okay, let's finish it up quick. We got a couple minutes left. Gear grinder and slap hands. My gear grinder was I love October baseball. Game 7, Blue Jays Mariners delivered everything I could want and more. Insanely good game, except it was one of the most electric home runs I've ever witnessed. 3-run home run to take the lead in the bottom of the 7th, I believe. So late in the game, like 3-1, kind of a pitcher's duel there for a little bit. Blue Jays, they're coming to their last few outs. And George Springer just launches a 3-run homer to take the 4-3 lead in the bottom of the 7th to go to the World Series. I'm here for it. I love October baseball. The crack of the bat followed by the roar of the crowd, I think, is one of the best things in sports. The only thing I'm not here for is the fact that it was George Springer, who is a former Astro, who was caught cheating, stealing pitch signs and everything like that. So not anybody else, I would have been, don't really care. And again, super trivial stuff. I've had a pretty good week, so not a lot to complain about. But yeah, so that kind of stinks. But I mean, the Dodgers are going to sweep them, so let's, not the end of the world, I guess. My slap hands highlight of my week will be that I've been deer hunting again for the first time in a while, which has been nice. Weather's finally cooling off, so back in the tree stand, which I have really enjoyed. So,
so are you a bow guy?
I'm a bow guy. I'm a bow guy.
There you go. Are you ready to embrace debate? Are you going to you're going to die on that hill of bow?
I mean, yeah, I guess I've never done rifle because I grew up in Iowa and you can't shoot deer with a rifle, so was never something I did. I'm not like against it in states where it is allowed. So I just grew up doing bow. Always a bow guy, but
you're lame. Embrace debate.
I don't want to hear it from you.
My gear grinder for the week. As I had mentioned, I was down in Iowa City for the Hawkeye game. 7 o'clock kick. great atmosphere, great tailgate down there. But my gear grinder of the week is age because, I may only be 25, but I don't have my fastball like I used to, and we are not in college anymore. So, well, I had a great time on Saturday. The drive home on Sunday was a little rough for a guy, and not exactly, not exactly what it might have been when I was 21 years old. So, yes, I realize I'm still young in the grand scheme of things, but I'm not in college anymore. It's getting to me.
Got to pump the fluids. You need
Yeah,
electrolytes. Yeah.
yeah. Should have brought a Pedialyte. That's on me. Should have been prepared.
Oh, you weren't prepared. That's on you.
No,
That's on
no.
you.
It's on me, but it's also age. I'm gonna blame age.
Yeah, but
I've I've
we're also old enough where if you're going to have a night, you got to be prepared for the morning. You
That's
need
fair. That's fair.
you need the electrolytes. You need the water. You need all the stuff you need to fight through. So I would
As
love to
someone
feel.
who drank two Pedialytes before every game in college, I should have known better.
Yeah. What do you mean you didn't have Pedialyte? You had 1,000 bottles of Pedialyte at any given time. Every time we had a football game.
I only went every like Thursday night to just go pick up that week's too.
That is leaving something to chance. So not
Yeah.
great.
Didn't do it in college. Never left anything to chance. Can't. But on a similar vein, my slap hands of the week, my highlight of the week was getting to go down to Iowa City, being able to watch Mark play. That was great. Um, and then obviously fantastic game to go to. Got to talk to Mark after the game, got to talk to his family. Had another high school buddy down there, got to see him, got to see his family. So it's always just nice, Iowa City isn't super close, so when you have friends and their family and stuff like that that you don't always necessarily get to see as often as you like, just always good to reunite with them and get to catch up and be able to have a good time.
Very nice. Yeah, I bet that was fun. Great to see Mark get a huge win
Oh
like
yeah,
that.
great game to go to.
Um, all right. Well, I think that will wrap it up for episode 3. Again, big week this week, people. We got to beat the Bison. Got to beat the Bison.
Show up, be loud, do your part.
Let's get a win. That's what do you say?
Yeah.
Um,
However it happens, just get a win.
again, thank you for listening. If you made it this far, first of all, wow, because we're not very smart. So we appreciate you listening. Like and subscribe. Leave us some comments. Tell us what you're looking for in the Dakota Marker game this week. How you think it's going to go down. What you're hoping to see. And maybe a few score predictions here and there as well. So tell a friend. Tell a friend
Yeah,
about
let
the
us
podcast.
know
Go ahead.
this is the high level stuff you get
Keep
here.
cutting you
We're
off.
at the
Sorry.
end.
Sorry.
Let us know, the things that you're enjoying, the things that, you're not. We're still gonna think we're funny. Can't really cut that out. That's always gonna be there a little bit. But yeah, no, we're having fun doing this, and we hope you guys enjoy it too.
Yeah, like you said, let us know what you enjoy or what you think we could do better. So we'll do a little film session Mondays.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Thank you guys very much, and we will see you next week.
Go Jacks.
Go Jacks.